and girls, Mr. Anderson here, and this week for the video I would like you to practice 3 different athletic sports movements. So I want you to practice doing your jump shot, practice doing your baseball throws, and practice your football throws. So at home, in a spot, in a space, it could be your house, your yard, I want you to just practice doing the motions. If you have that object, if you have that type of ball, you could use that to help you practice, but you don't really need to have, say, a football, a basketball, baseball. You still can practice the motions. So I want you to practice your basketball shot, practice the football throw, and practice your baseball throw. So for your football throw, again, you always want to make sure you have the proper form. So when you throw the football, make sure that you can start with making that T. So if you have the football in your hand, have that football in your hand, arms out wide, bring the ball in, step, and throw that football. So again, you want to make sure that you have the footwork down. So again, you make that T for your football throw, arm comes up, and step, and throw. So if you have actual football, like I actually have one here, you want to take that football into your hand. You could practice stepping and throwing. So step, bring your arms up, arm comes out, ball comes forward, and throw. So again, from the side, you want to make that T, ball comes up, you step, and throw. So from a little farther back, you have the football in your hands, you make that big T, ball comes up, you step, and throw. So remember, you want to step in the direction that you want to throw the ball. So if you're throwing at an object or throwing at a person, if you step with your foot, a lot of times you'll be much more successful because your body is going in that direction to throw the ball. So again, make sure that when you're throwing the football, you have that grip, or you also have the proper footwork. So hands come out, step, ball comes forward, and throw. So always with your sports motions, whether it be baseball, softball, basketball, you want to have that follow through. So again, you don't always have to have a football. You can still practice that motion without the ball in your hand. So again, you can have pretend like you have the ball here, make that T, hand comes up, step, and throw. So at home, I want you to practice doing that. It could be for 10 times, it could be for 20 times, it could be for 30 times, or do it for 5, do it for 10 minutes. But try and practice doing your football throw. And the next one I want you to work on is your baseball throw. So you can do that also a couple different ways. You can have a ball in your hand. You don't have to have a ball in hand, but you can practice with one if you have one at home. But don't worry, if you don't, you can use a ball of socks. You can use anything that might be close to the size. So when you're doing a baseball throw, same thing with your football throw. You want to have that proper follow through. So again, you want to bring the ball up, step, and throw your target. So it's almost the same kind of thing, making that T, bring the ball up, and throw. So again, if you're practicing your pitching, same kind of thing. You start facing your object or facing your target, you step back, bring your leg up, step, and throw the ball and follow through. So again, wherever you follow through generally is where that ball is going to go. So if I let go of the ball up here, the ball's going to go really high. And if I let go of the ball down here, it's going to go basically really far off to the ground. So depending on where you release that ball, that's where it's going to go. So if I try and release it, for example, if I'm stepping towards the camera, step and throw, I release it about here, that ball's going to go nice and straight. Depending on how hard I bring my arm around, that's how fast that ball is going to go. So when you're at home again, so watching me from the side, you start with your feet kind of together, bring your arm back, step, and throw. So if you're practicing your baseball kind of pitch, you can do it this way. So a lot of times baseball pitchers start with their feet together, hold the ball about your chest, about your belly, you take one step back, front leg turns, leg comes up, and you step and throw that ball. So again, remember where you release the ball. So if you release it really early, that ball is going to go up really high. If you release it too late, the ball will go in the ground. So again, depending where you release it, you'll get used to it as you practice your throws more and more. If you release it too high, that ball is going to go really high up in the air. And if you hold on to it too long, that ball is going to go really hard into the ground. So practice your baseball throws. Again, you can do 10, 20 throws. You can do it for 5, 10 minutes. Practice that motion. Practice at home. If you have that ball, use a ball. If not, just use your hand to go through that motion and practice how to go through a proper throw. Okay, so boys and girls, with practicing your basketball jump shot, there's a few things you want to remember when you're trying to make a successful basketball shot. So again, a lot of times we think of different letters or different acronyms, but we're just going to focus on bending our knees, our placement of our elbow, our release, and our follow through. So with basketball, you want to bring that ball up to kind of where your chest or your hip comes up, and you shoot the ball. So I want you to practice our basketball jump shot. So getting down the form, bend your knees, ball comes about your hip, about your chest, elbow comes up, you elevate with your wrist, and you follow through. So with the basketball jump shot, again, you want to have the proper form. So hold the ball about your waist, about your hip, bring the ball up, elbow comes up, and as you go up with the ball, you want to flick your wrist, you get that spin, but also follow through up high with your hands. So you go up and shoot. So when you practice at home, again, doing 10, 20 basketball shots, you can do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But again, when you shoot, have the ball about your hip, knees should be bent, elbow comes up. You want to elevate the ball and you follow through with that kind of spin up and shoot. Depending on how you want to shoot the ball, some people have a little bit of a jump to it, but you can practice shooting again without the ball in your hands. So practice the basics. So again, you want to have the ball in your hands about your waist, your hip, ball up, bend your knees, elevate that elbow, have the wrist ready as you extend your arms, flick your wrist, and you follow through. So again, ball, bend your knees, up, and shoot. So you want to follow through with the wrist, follow through with your elbow. You want to elevate that ball up. So again, if you come too short, it won't be as accurate, it won't be as smooth of a shot. So you want to, again, get that form down, bend your knees, ball comes about your waist, your hips, elevate your elbow, and flick the wrist as you extend. So make sure you follow through with your hand. Again, with most of our sports movements, where you follow through is where your ball is going to go. So the more practice you get, the more practice you get at kind of finding how hard you need to do the shot will help you get kind of used to kind of improving how well you're doing. So try that shot, try also the baseball throw, try your football throws, try all three of these movements to practice at home. Again, you don't need a ball, you could do it without an object, just work on your form and work on the best you can. So again, if you have a ball at home, you can practice throwing against a wall or something that is hard, because it can return the ball back to you, or practice with a friend, with a family member, with a guardian, practice with anybody that you feel that you can work with on your skills. So try your best to work on football, baseball, basketball, those types of shots and those types of throws. Have a great rest of the day, boys and girls. Thank you.